Welcome back my channel. Today, we're about to explore a coin that's not just part of the US Mint's history, but is also worth a staggering $83,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $83,000. And no, this isn't a mistake or a typo. We're talking about the 1979 D. Jefferson nickel that's valued at a jaw-dropping price. But what makes this nickel worth so much? When most of us think of nickels as being worth just a few cents, let's dive into the story behind this rare coin. Now, before we get into the specific details of this rare find, let's first take a step back. The Jefferson nickel has been part of the U.S. currency system since 1938, featuring the famous portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, on the reverse. Over the years, these nickels have been produced in huge quantities. In fact, it's safe to say that the nickel has been one of the most widely circulated coins in the United States. But what makes the 1979 D. Jefferson nickel so special and valuable? The answer lies in a mistake, an error that happened during the minting process in 1979. This error wasn't just a small oversight. It created a unique coin that collectors now consider a rare treasure. So let's break it down. The 1979 D. Jefferson nickel, in its most common form, is worth just 5 cents, nothing out of the ordinary. But for one lucky collector, a few of these nickels were struck with a rare error that makes them worth a lot more than their face value. Specifically, it's the 6-cent error that makes this coin so valuable. You might be wondering, what on earth is a 6-cent error? Well, here's where it gets interesting. During the minting process, something went wrong with the die that was used to strike the coins. This error caused the coin to be struck with an additional detail that wasn't supposed to be there. This resulted in some 1979 D. Jefferson nickels showing a slightly off-center or misaligned image, making them appear as though they were worth 6 cents instead of 5. The design was not properly aligned, leading to this distinctive flaw that makes the coin unique. When a coin is struck off-center like this, it's not just a minor cosmetic flaw. It's a major error. And error coins are often worth far more than their face value due to their rarity. In the case of the 1979 D. Jefferson nickel, only a small number of these off-center nickels were ever produced, and as a result, their value skyrocketed over the years. Now, imagine this. You find a 1979 D. Jefferson nickel in your pocket change or perhaps in a coin jar at home. You may not think much of it at first, but could it be the lucky coin worth thousands? If you happen to find one with the distinctive 6-cent error, especially one in excellent condition, you could be holding on to something worth up to $83,000. So, how do you identify a 1979 D. Jefferson nickel with this error? The key is to carefully inspect the coin. Look at the design on both the obverse and reverse. If the coin appears off-center, with part of the design cut off or shifted, there's a good chance it could be one of these error coins. The 6-cent error will be particularly visible if the coin has an uneven strike, where part of the image is missing or not aligned properly. But it's not just about finding a misaligned or off-center coin. The value of these coins depends heavily on their condition. If the coin is well preserved with minimal wear, its value increases dramatically. Coins that are in near mint condition can fetch the highest prices, especially when they exhibit that unique error. Now, let's talk about the market for these rare nickels. As with most collectibles, the value of the 1979 D. Jefferson nickel is driven by demand from collectors. Numismatists, those experts who study coins, are always on the lookout for rare error coins like this one. Over time, as more collectors get involved in the hobby, the prices of these rare coins continue to rise. So, finding one of these error coins could turn into a significant financial windfall. So, how do you go about selling one of these valuable nickels if you happen to find one? The first step is to get it authenticated. You'll want to have the coin appraised by a professional, numismatist, or a reputable coin dealer, who can confirm the authenticity of the error and the coin's condition. They'll also help you determine the current market value, as coin prices can fluctuate over time depending on demand and availability. But here's the thing. Even though the 1979 D. Jefferson nickel is worth $83,000, not every coin in the world with this error will fetch that price. It depends on factors such as condition, rarity, and the specific market at the time. That said, if you happen to find one, it's a good idea to hold on to it, as error coins like this can continue to appreciate in value as time goes on. Now, if you're a coin collector or just someone interested in the fascinating world of rare coins, you'll know that the 1979 Jefferson nickel is a gem. It represents more than just a mistake in minting. It's a testament to the way history, rarity, and collector passion combine to create something truly special. Or other printing oddities around $130 plus. Misaligned mint mark varieties fetching tens of dollars. These errors don't always guarantee high value. They depend heavily on how dramatic the mistake is and whether collectors actively seek them. Typical eBay prices in today's market. Now for the part most coin hunters want to know. What is a 1976 Lincoln penny really worth on eBay today? Here's a snapshot of recent listings and typical selling prices found online. Most circulated 1976 pennies. Ordinary coins pulled from pocket change. Sell for about 15 cents to $4. Uncirculated common strikes. Might go for $1 to $15, depending on eye appeal and surface quality. Coins with minor errors or varieties can range from $25 up to a few $100s depending on rarity and condition. High-end proof or top mint state graded coins, like the one that sold for over $1,200, are far more exceptional than typical results. So while most 1976 pennies don't break the bank, some can draw collector interest, especially when they exhibit unusual features or pristine preservation. Common myths versus reality. You might see online claims that 1976 pennies are worth thousands or even millions, but remember, only truly exceptional or rare coins reach those heights. And often those listings are speculative or part of seller hype. The overwhelming majority are worth little more than face value unless they're genuine error coins or high-grade collector pieces. Why collectors love the 1976 penny, even with modest values on average. The 1976 Lincoln penny holds a special place for many collectors because it connects directly to the American bicentennial era. It's an affordable entry point for new collectors. Rare errors and high-grade specimens offer collectible intrigue. This 1-cent piece reminds us that even everyday coins can carry stories, history, and surprising moments of value, encouraging hobbyists to look closely at the coins in their hands. Final value summary. To wrap up, in normal circulation, a 1976 Lincoln penny is worth about 1 cent, but depending on condition and rarity. Ordinary circulated coins, $0.15 to $4. Uncirculated common strikes, $1 to $15. Error and variety coins, $25 to $200 plus. Exceptional proof or graded examples, hundreds to over $1,200. Whether you collect coins or simply enjoy the history behind the pieces in your pocket change, the 1976 Lincoln penny reminds us that even the humblest coins have stories worth telling, sometimes even stories worth thousands. That's a powerful way to start a story about a coin that most people think of as just a penny. The 1976 Lincoln penny sits at the crossroads of everyday life and numismatic fascination, common in circulation yet occasionally the source of rare surprises. In this script, we'll explore its rich history, what makes certain versions more collectible, and what these coins actually sell for today. 1 cent that tells a nation's story. The Lincoln penny first debuted in 1909, designed to honor Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. It was the first widely circulated U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, forever changing the way Americans viewed everyday coins. Over the decades, the design shifted slightly, most notably in 1959, when the reverse switched from wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial. The 1976 coin continued this iconic memorial design during a year of national celebration. America's CoinValueChecker.com. Unlike the revolutionary redesigns seen on U.S. quarters and half dollars during the bicentennial, the penny didn't change its appearance in 1976, but its place in the timeline of American coinage issued in the year marking 200 years of the United States gives it historical significance beyond how many were made. The United States Mint struck billions of 1976 Lincoln cents, making this one of the most common pennies available today. For example, the Denver Mint alone produced over 4.2 billion of the 1976 D. Lincoln cents. An enormous figure by any measure. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint simply have no mint mark, while Denver coins carry a tiny D under the date. Because of these massive production numbers, most 1976 pennies seen in circulation are plentiful and hold little monetary value beyond the cost of the coin, just 1 cent. What can make a 1976 penny worth more? Even though these coins are common, certain factors can push their value above face value. Condition matters, mint state, and proof. Most 1976 pennies you find in change will be worn and worth just face value. But coins in pristine condition, especially uncirculated mint state, MS, grades, or highly graded pieces, are collectible. The 1976 proof version, struck specifically for collectors with a mirror-like finish, can fetch higher prices. In fact, the highest recorded auction price for a 1976 proof penny graded nearly perfect exceeded $1,200. An eye-opening result for a coin that once traded for change. Collectors prize pristine condition because where quickly erases fine details. The better the strike, the more a serious collector will pay, especially for certified coins from grading services like PCGS or NGC. Errors and varieties. Errors, unexpected mistakes during the minting process can sometimes make a coin collectible. On eBay right now, you can find listings for 1976 pennies with unusual characteristics. A cut/strike error penny with damage or unusual features, listed near